Hey, what's up, Coin Fam? In this video, we're talking about rare 1965 Washington quarters worth money, how much they're worth, and what to look for. Our first quarter is this 1965 Mint State 60 double struck coin. You can see some weak detail of conflicting strikes on both the obverse and reverse of this quarter. The slab indicates flip over and collar, which would explain why the conflicting detail seen on each side of the coin is from the opposite side. You can see branches from the reverse of the coin in the top of the bust of Washington, as well as reverse strikes in the lettering along the edges of the coin. It's hard to make out the conflicting strike detail on the reverse because of the blurry picture, but you can see the strike here. This is a pretty cool error, and it sold at auction for $470. Our next 1965 Washington quarter was graded about uncirculated 55 by PCGS and is designated a FS 101 double die reverse. A double die is when successive strikes of the die by the hub don't exactly match up during the die making process. These errors are sometimes very subtle, like the doubling by the saddle on these 2007 Wyoming quarters. On the 1965 quarter, there are a few documented double die errors. Details on this double die error can be found on a great resource website called doubledie.com. You can see the doubling on the letters of liberty as well as In God We Trust. Another great resource is the Strike It Rich with Pocket Change book. I've had this book for a while, and I pull it out frequently while I'm coin roll hunting. You can find a link in this video description if you want to check it out. This DDO sold for $575. Here's another DDO. This one has a FS 102 designation and graded much better than the last one. This one came in at Mint State 65 and sold for $720. This is a crazy one right here. Take a look at this 1965 about uncirculated 50 coin. It's what's called a strike through because something foreign came in between the quarter and the die during the strike. In this case, it was two staples. One on the obverse struck through the L and B in Liberty, and the other one on the reverse piercing one of the wings of the eagle and through the lettering above the head of the eagle. You can also see some other damage where the obverse staple affected the way the quarter sat in the collar, and what appears to be a die crack or some other strike through at the top of the R in quarter towards the left of the other R, then up through the leaves and left wing of the eagle. This slab indicates retained because the actual staples are still in the coin. How much is an error like this worth? This one sold for $1,410. What about a Mint State quarter with no errors? How much are they worth? Well, the fewer blemishes on a coin combined with a low population of the same grade can make your near-perfect quarter quite valuable. This 1965 quarter was graded Mint State 67 plus on a scale of 70. A quick review of PCGS.com shows that the value of a quarter like this to be at about $1,000. If you look at the population report, there are only 9 graded 67 plus by PCGS, and that's the top pop for this quarter by their grading standard. NGC, another grading company, has 2 graded slightly higher at MS68. This quarter sold at auction for $2,585. We all know the coins are struck on planchets, and planchets come in different sizes, weights, and different metal. This is a 1964 quarter. These quarters are made on a planchet that's 90% silver. Based on the current price of silver today, the melt value is approximately $4.25. In 1964, silver prices were rising and people were hoarding their 90% silver quarters. To remedy the coin shortage and the increased cost of production, the government put forth the Coinage Act of 1965 that eliminated silver from circulating dimes and quarters. All circulating quarters were to be struck on a clad planchet made of 75% copper and 25% nickel. You can see the copper band by looking at the edge of the quarter. Despite the high degree of pride and strict adherence to all mint procedures, somehow mistakes still happen, and coins like the quarters we're about to look at are struck on the wrong planchet. To discover an error like this, the first thing you'll probably notice is the appearance of the quarter. It'll probably look a little different than you're used to. If that happens, you want to look at the edges of the coin. Can you see the copper band? Does it have ridges? Compare your quarter to another quarter. Is it the same thickness? Weigh your quarter. If you don't have a coin scale, you're going to want to get one. Here are the weights of regular business strike planchets and silver planchets by denomination, including quarters minted prior to 1965. A 1965 quarter should weigh 5.67 grams. Now take a look at these quarters that were minted on the wrong planchet. Here's a quarter minted on a penny planchet. Notice how the penny expanded to fill the quarter die. And here's one quarter on a nickel planchet. Notice that just like the cent planchet, this one has a tone that's just a little different than what a quarter normally looks like. And here's another one on a silver dime planchet. Notice how the dime tried to expand enough to fill the die, but just couldn't expand enough. And here's a 1965 quarter on a silver planchet rather than a clad planchet. Here's how much each one of these coins sold for at auction. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to check your change.